Hello, welcome to my videos and my blog. In this time, I'm going to talk about what happened on UEFA Champions League round of 16, 2025-2026 season, first leg. Well, this week was played the started the round of 16 with the first leg game, where to be honest, there were some surprise. There were a lot of goals, and most of the series are defined. So I'm recording this video when I'm going to talk about the games and what's next. Well, tomorrow yesterday started the round of 16 with the first leg series with the first four game, where in the first game it was a surprise with Galatasaray defeated the Liverpool 1-0. This was a surprise because I didn't expect that the Galatasaray were going to win this game, or no, I thought that this game was going to be finishing a tie, or Liverpool was going to win that game. But what happened? Galatasaray took advantage to playing home. They scored the first and only goal of the game in the beginning of the game in the -7, where Mario Lemina scored it, and that was enough to win that game. This is a very important score because now the Galatasaray had the advantage in the series. Well, I think that the Liverpool didn't play a good game, but in the end, I think that the Liverpool was a little better and minimum decided the draw. But in the end, the series is still open because even the Galatasaray is controlling his destiny. Now in the second game in Anfield, it's gonna to be very difficult because Liverpool will have to win by one goal to for the overtime, or to win by two more goals to qualify to the quarterfinals. And Galatasaray need minimum to tie the game to qualify to the next round. And in the second game, the Bayern Munich didn't have any problem. Defeated and humiliated Atalanta 6-1. About the Bayern Munich, Bayern Munich show the difference between them and an Italian team, where this season and during the last five season years, the Italian teams have been struggle a lot in European competition. Where in this game, the Bayern Munich finishes the series and they qualify to the quarterfinal, because it looks very difficult that Atalanta can score 5 goals or more 6 goals to qualify to the next round. To be honest, Bayern Munich should have won this game minimum by 7 or a more goal difference to because they dominate that game. So in the second leg, I think that the series over. It looks very difficult that Atalanta, how I told you, can score 5 goals to force overtime or 6 or more goals, or to qualify to the quarterfinals, and Bayern Munich will qualify to the quarterfinals. And in the third game, in a very close game, Newcastle and Barcelona tied the game 1-1. About this game, Newcastle was the best team, I'm not gonna to lie, and Newcastle should have won this game because they dominate that game, but unfortunately for them, they couldn't take advantage to playing home and to play better. About the Barcelona play a very bad game, I'm not gonna to lie, where Newcastle scored the goal in the end of the game in the minus 86, and in that moment I thought the Newcastle was gonna to win that game. Even though, how I told you, Newcastle had the game under control, Barcelona didn't know how to open the Newcastle deficit, and when it was the stopping time, when it looked like that the game was gonna to be finished in a tie, Barcelona created a very great play. The Newcastle defender provoked a penalty, and Lamine Yamal scored, and Barcelona tied the game. This is a very important result for Barcelona, because now they have the advantage, because now the series is going to be playing the second leg. It's going to travel to Barcelona, Spain, where Barcelona have the advantage because they will play in home. And I think that Barcelona is going to win that game because they are better team than Newcastle. If Newcastle want to win that game, Newcastle need to score the first goal in the first minutes of the game to try to have the advantage. But I think that Barcelona is going to win that game. And yesterday, last game, Atleti didn't have any problem and defeated the Tottenham 5-2. About that game, to be honest, Atletico won this game in the first 15 minutes of the game because they were leading the game 3-0, and in that moment the game was over. They dominated the game from the beginning to the end, and they won this game easily, to be honest. Where how the Tottenham, I didn't understand why Anthony Kiski was the starting goalkeeper, because he made two big errors in the first and third goal of the Athletic, and for that reason the Tottenham head coach decided to send him off. I know that this was a very bad decision, but I don't understand why the Tottenham head coach decided to put the Anthony Kiski as a starting goalkeeper if he had like the 3 months without playing. So I didn't understand that situation. Even that Athletic took advantage of that and they won this game easily. With this victory, Atleti is almost qualified to the quarterfinals because the Tottenham need to win the second leg by 3 goals to force overtime or to win by more than 4 goals to win the series. And today's game, in the first game, Leverkusen and Arsenal tied the game 1-1. This was a very close game. I'm not to lie. It was a very difficult game for Arsenal because they battled a lot. Yeah, Leverkusen took advantage to playing home, where the Leverkusen scored the first goal in the minus 46 in the first minute of the second half in a corner, and they were leading after that. Arsenal was attacking, was creating more goal opportunities, but they couldn't move the defenses and they couldn't score a goal. So when we thought that the Leverkusen was gonna to win this game, the referee called a penalty for the Arsenal. To be honest, in my opinion, it didn't look like a penalty, a foul, but in the end the referee called it, and Kai Harsberg, the Leverkusen's former player, scored the penalty, and with this goal, Arsenal tied the game 1-1. Now the Arsenal have the advantage in the series because now the series will travel to London for the second leg, where I think that the Arsenal won't have any problem. They will win this game easily and will qualify to the quarterfinals. In another game, the PSG defeated the Chelsea 5-2. This was a close game. Yeah, it was so close, this game, but the difference was called in the last 15 minutes of the PSG took advantage of that, and in this game the PSG showed that in this moment they are a better team than the Chelsea. Well, remember that this was the FIFA World Cup 2025 final rematch where the Chelsea defeated the PSG and Chelsea won the tournament. So for the PSG, it was a little revenge about that game. The game was very close, how I told you, where in the minus 57 the game was tied to 2. I think that after the Chelsea had tied the game to 2-2, the Chelsea had one or two goal opportunities to score the third goal and take the lead of the series, but not. They couldn't take advantage of that. And in the minus 74, Vitinha scored the PSG third goal. They had the advantage, and in the last minutes of the game, the last 8 minutes of the game, Kibashi Karaskeila scored 2 goals, and the PSG won the game 5-0. I think that the PSG are almost qualified to the quarterfinals because they won the game by 3 goal difference. So now the Chelsea need to win the game to 3 goal difference to force the overtime, and win by 4 or more goal difference to qualify to the quarterfinals. In another game, the Real Madrid, the owner of this competition, defeated the Man City 3-0. You know, the Real Madrid have been struggled a lot this season in the Spanish league and in the UEFA Champions League, where even in the match day run, Man City defeated Real Madrid in the Bernabeu. But what happened, in this kind of games, when Guardiola play in this kind of games in the knockout run, especially against Real Madrid, he most of the time decide to make some changes in the starting lineup. And the Manchester City made a lot of mistakes. Real Madrid took advantage of that, and they won this game easily. The game was defined in a lapse of 7 minutes, where Federico Valverde scored two goals in that lapse. Later, he scored the third goal in the minus 42. And it looked like that Federico Valverde won the game 3-0 because he scored a hat-trick. Before the Real Madrid first goal, Manchester City was dominating the game. They had the game under control, and they were creating more goal opportunities. But this is Real Madrid. They know how to attack, how to win this kind of games when you give Real Madrid a lot of spaces. Real Madrid took advantage of that. Federico Valverde scored 3 goals in the first half, and Real Madrid won the game easily 3-0. Now Real Madrid is in the quarterfinals because it looks very difficult that Manchester City can win the game by 3 goal difference, because the most probably is that because Manchester City is gonna to attack the Real Madrid in the second leg. Manchester City is gonna to let a lot of spaces. Real Madrid is gonna to take advantage of that, and Real Madrid qualified to the quarterfinals. And in the last game, the Bodo Glimt did another surprise where they defeated the Sporting Lisboa 3-0. Bodo Glimt took advantage to play home, and they won this game. It was a close game, but the difference was that Bodo Glimt scored 2 goals in the first half, and that was enough to win the game in the end. Bodo Glimt scored another goal in the second half, and they won the game 3-0. It looks like that the series is defined, because it looks very difficult but not impossible that the Sporting Lisboa can win the game by 3 goal difference or more in the second half, because the Sporting Lisboa is gonna to attack to get the 3 goals. They're gonna to let a lot of spaces that the Bodo Glimt is gonna to take advantage of. I think that most of the series are over. I think that, in my opinion, the Bayern München, Atleti, PSG, Real Madrid, and Bodo Glimt qualified to the quarterfinal run, because it looked very difficult that they can lose their games, but it's not possible. And the only series open are the Galatasaray against Liverpool, Newcastle, Barcelona, and Leverkusen, Arsenal. So let's see what is going to happen. Remember that the second next series are going to play the next week. So I hope you like this video, and if you have any comment, suggestion, you can write me in the social media platform. So see you next video. Gibran.